Welcome to Soccer Talk, presented by Kick It Forward. Kick It Forward is a nonprofit organization based in Iowa that positively disrupts the soccer community. We take a three-pronged approach, and in doing so, we focus on free programming, our mini pitch initiative in which we partner with Musco Lighting and the U.S. Soccer Foundation, and of course, Kick It Forward Media, which you're currently enjoying this moment. We've got a big one today, folks. Enjoy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Iowa soccer supporters. I'm Ben Brackett, your Soccer Talk co-host, alongside my good pal, Blake Sievers. Siebes, what's up?
Good afternoon, Ben.
Historic day on the pod.
It is. We got a big storm that came in yesterday and sunny today and a couple of cool little episode today.
Yeah, right on. We're joined by some U.S. national team legends. We've got Benny Feilhaber and Sacha Kljestan. Gentlemen, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
I actually should really probably introduce you guys as the Des Moines Menace Open Cup team captains, I assume.
I'm just here to play this time. Benny's running the show this year.
No, I think we should give the captain to maybe somebody else that is going to be able to move around the field a little better than I am.
Well, that's a great start to it, guys. So I don't know if, Sacha, if you remember meeting us about 14 months ago in the Moxie gym in Southern California there, Huntington Beach. We were the one sitting in front of you. Actually, I think I was the one sitting directly in front of you dying.
You guys all were dying.
We absolutely were. But so maybe let's just start there, like talk a little bit about it. You guys are both 40 or thereabout. I think Sacha, you might not quite be 40, but we're both that same age, 84 birth years. And if you told me I had to go play 90 minutes, I mean, you saw what it was like for me to be on the bike for 45. So
yeah,
how you guys feeling?
I'm feeling okay. I haven't played soccer in 3 months, so I need to get out there and start touching the ball before this magical Open Cup run we're about to go on. But to just throw it back and kind of tell everybody how this all started, you mentioned Moxie. It's the gym I go to in Costa Mesa, California. I live in Newport Beach. And Matt Bourne, who owns and runs the gym, is originally from Iowa, played for the Des Moines Menace when he was in college. And a group of his buddies, you guys, and notably Charlie Bales, who was the GM of the Des Moines Menace, was in class with me one day and then said, afterwards, it'd be cool if you came out of retirement and played in the Open Cup. And I said, absolutely not. I don't envision myself going to Iowa anytime soon to play a game. And he said, come on, bring some of your buddies along. So we did last year. We won one game. We lost in the second round to Union Omaha. And this year we're running it back with a star-studded cast of ex-MLS All-Stars.
Yeah, so Bourne has talked to him actually today. He said you've been hitting the bike twice a day.
Yeah,
even more impressive.
Not the bike twice a day, but I've been doing some weights in there, and then I hit the bike, and we'll see.
Are you playing some basketball?
And I play basketball, yeah. So everything but soccer, basically, is what I do.
Basketball is good, though, right? It's like quick back and forth.
Basketball is good, dude. I get a great workout. I woke up feeling like shit this morning. I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss on your guys'
please swear
pod.
As much as you'd like.
Okay. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Benny's been training, though. I'll tell you, I heard Benny's been playing.
I was going to say, Benny,
but there's a big difference between being 40 and retired, 2.5 years ago, Sash, and being 40 and retired 5.5 years ago. So
what have you been doing, Benny?
Yeah, you hitting the spin class or what?
Nah, dude, I can't do spin class. That stuff is so boring. My ass would hurt too from sitting on that.
If you were in LA, you might be able to deal with it.
I don't know if I did spin class with my wife one time.
Sasha knows.
And it was pretty boring, and I didn't love it, and I don't even know if I get that good of a workout in.
All right, well, the next time you're in LA, go down and see Borny at the Moxie gym and just check out the scenery, and I think you'll be motivated.
Okay. I think I'm reading between the lines.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a reason I finished my workout as opposed to quitting. So what's your training agenda like these days?
Yeah, no, I've been, kind of what old people do, go on jogs every once in a while.
Pickleball?
What's that?
Pickleball? You
I
said
have
old
been
folks.
playing pickleball a little bit more than I did a year ago, but no, not to the extent where it would build up my fitness in any way. So that's not a fitness based one, but running outside when it's snowy, at least going on my wife's walking pad to stay mobile and functioning as well as as an ex-athlete. But this last like 2-3 weeks, I've tried to up it a little bit, knowing that we got to get prepared for this game. And I've been training with UMKC during their spring season as much as I can. So I've gotten 3 or 4 sessions in the last couple weeks, playing in a couple pickup games as well. And so starting to, build up that very limited fitness. But what I've told my wife is I'm hoping game day, the adrenaline is what drives me.
Yeah, Sasha, talk just about how you recruited Benny and some of the other guys, because it's quite the lineup you guys got. So how does that start? How does that conversation go?
I think actually Benny was the one who kind of ignited this year's run and just said, "Are you playing in the Open Cup again?" And obviously Benny's been coaching for the last 3 years. He was the head coach of Sporting KC second team for the last 3 years, so he was never available to play, full-time job. That's a grind what he's been on. So now that Benny is no longer coaching that team, he reached out and was, should we get some players together? Should we try to make a run at this thing?
I mean, it worked out too, Sash, because you asked me last year.
Yeah.
I said I'd love to, but I mean, I can't.
Yeah.
Sporting was in the same competition. It's not like I can go play with a team that's playing it potentially against the club that I'm working for. So it was a little bit weird and whatever. But then this year, obviously, I'm unemployed right now. And more importantly, we play SKC2 here in Kansas City,
Yeah.
which makes it perfect. So then obviously I reached out to you to see if we were willing
Yeah,
to do it.
Benny didn't want to travel anywhere else. He was just like, the game's here, so let's play. And then we started recruiting. We said, if we're going to do this, let's go big, way bigger than we did last year, and just started reaching out to a network of guys that we know are retired or just retired, and tried to get as many guys as possible. So if we want to start dropping some names, I started with Dax McCarty, who works in the studio at MLS Season Pass now and Apple TV with me.
How's his motor doing? Still running?
I mean, he played what, 90 minutes in 3 straight
He
playoff
just beat
games
Messi, bro. He
against
just
I know,
Messi.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. His motor's still got to be like purring, man.
Yeah. So he's like the whole key to this thing. He has to play 90 minutes and be like the guy who's on the ball, and he has to run the show.
I agree.
And then Bradley Wright Phillips, obviously prolific goal scorer. I played with him for 3 years in New York. Got an awesome connection with him. He's also in the studio. And then Ozzy Alonso, MLS, one of the best defensive mids in MLS history, probably. He works in the Spanish side of the studio at MLS Season Pass now, too. So he heard us talking about it and was like, I'm in. Can I play? He was basically begging to be on the team. So he's in. And let's not forget, Ozzy has won the Open Cup 4 times with the Seattle Sounders. Benny's won an Open Cup. We've got guys now that have a lot of history.
Come on.
Oh, you've won 2.
Hey, this team's going to be loaded in championships.
I like
That's
that.
true.
From you. And
Yeah.
Brad and Dax.
Well,
Where are we all gonna-
Benny also beat me and Bradley Wright Phillips in the 2017 final in Kansas City. So
Dax not there anymore?
Dax wasn't there, no. So
How are you guys gonna? I mean, don't tell us how you're gonna line up, but how are you gonna accommodate all these superstars
And central midfielders.
Yeah,
That is a
Yes,
solid question.
This is the conundrum where Benny and I are on the phone like every other day being like, how are we going to start the team? We got to plan our subs ahead of time. We got to know who's the fittest guys on the team. This is big questions, dude.
is anybody gonna play out of position? Maybe get a little right back in you or something.
We might have to throw somebody. We're going to try not to. We're going to try to fill all positions with players where they are going to be their best. But, depending on how the game goes, Benny, I think we might have to, maybe throw a midfielder in the back line or something.
I think one of the main things that we talked about, and that's important to know, is we're trying to win. Not only win this game, but let's go on as deep of a run as we can possibly go. And so, yes, we're putting together a lot of, whatever you want to call star players from years past. I think the idea is that everybody comes in with the mentality of team is number one, right? What can we do to help the team win? Where can we play? How many minutes can each player provide at a high level? And so all those kind of things, those are conversations that I've had with Sash, and we're trying to reach out to players and kind of see where they're at with that stuff. But at the end of the day, we want to put together a team that's going to be super competitive and get everybody as playing as well as they can in whatever position we can put them in.
I want to say Benny is spot on there, because this also has started where, between myself, Benny, and Dax McCarty, we all three went to the 2008 Olympics. But I don't think there was ever a moment in that tournament where the three of us were on the field at the same
I was going to
time.
say, you guys are all right about the same vintage, right? Like,
Yeah,
grew,
yeah. And
grew up
so,
together.
yes, and Benny and I are from, 20 minutes apart from each other in Southern California. We didn't really know each other until we played in the under 20 World Cup together in 2005. But even then, Benny was a starter and I was on the bench. And then, actually my debut on the U.S. men's national team is probably the only game where we actually started a game together and played together. And
What
and
happened
I
in that game, Sash?
and I assisted to Benny. My first game, I got an assist. Benny scores a beautiful goal. So,
Good omens.
but for many years, we never really got to play together because we were constantly competing with each other for a
Right.
spot in the national team. And so, even having said all that, I would love to be on the field, me, Dax, and Benny, for the 90 minutes, but we know that's not possible. And so we're probably going to have to share the minutes and maybe not get a lot of time on the field together, but whatever's the best for the team.
Well, I mean, just a little compliment for you, Sasha. Last year, I thought the way that the team kind of went out was very much in like a team first mentality. So, I mean, just from the group you guys had last year to this year, I imagine you got something good to build on.
Yeah, yeah, I hope so. And then, we complement us old guys with a few young guys who are Des Moines Menace players that will play with them this summer, who I hope can add to the group with energy and with their skill as well.
Talk just how do you guys going to? I mean, you guys are kind of like you said, a little bit older. There's some younger boys in there. What's the what do you guys think your role is in the team?
Coach Benny?
Yeah, I mean, like that, and that's what he said is perfect, right? I think one of the main things that I get from, and I'm sure any older player that played into their, late 30s or mid 30s or whatever, you realize that you become a coach on the field. And our ability to be able to work things out now, because you can come up with like a lineup, a formation, a tactic, whatever, and you're going to still find moments in the game early on where something isn't working. And I think that's what we're going to be able to do is the collective IQ of us old guys is a notch above probably the majority of the players on the field. And so our ability to kind of, solve problems on the fly and have a coach that's essentially on the field, or various coaches that are on the field, I think that's one thing that we can bring. And obviously, I mean, the soccer, right? As long as the game isn't too fast for us, I think the soccer part of it will still be able to provide and good passes, good touches, good shots, and hopefully good goals.
Is it a turf field there, Benny? You guys are playing on, or is that stadium
No,
grass?
I wouldn't have signed up if it was a turf field.
Smart man.
Yeah, it's
What do you?
grass.
So
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what happens if it starts snowing the night before the game, but as of right now, the game is on grass, and I would assume that doesn't change.
how does it feel playing against Sporting Twos?
That'll be fun. I mean, I've always loved playing against, my old teams when I was a pro, and this will be interesting. I mean, there's not too many holdovers. With the second team, there's a lot of change, and so I think there's maybe less than a handful of guys that were there last year that'll be there this year. But at the same time, it's fun. I mean, Ike Opara, who was my assistant coach the last 3 years, he's still there, and it'll be fun to play against them. There's no doubt about that.
Will you celebrate?
Will I celebrate?
Yeah, like when you score, will you celebrate?
My-
Or will
my
be,
kids-
will be
My
will be
kids,
muted.
I have a 10-year-old daughter, a 9-year-old daughter, and a 6-year-old son.
So you're going to
And
celebrate.
My 6-year-old son essentially never saw me play, and my 2 older daughters watched me a little bit, but couldn't really, take it all in. If I get a goal in this game, I mean, shirts coming off, flailing around, give me the yellow, might jump into the crowd. I don't know. It'll be a surreal moment.
So you and Felipe are in Kansas City. I mean, what you guys better be bringing the crowd.
Yeah, there's I think 3 or 4 guys locally, myself, Felipe Hernandez, Lucas Rosa, and I want to say our goalie Enzo is in KC or close by.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'll have to do too much work, to be completely honest. I think that the fact that once, now that everybody knows, right, the people that are going to be there, I think SKC will have a decent crowd there as well to watch a lot of these players. And I think Des Moines Menace is going to probably travel some fans as well. So I don't think I need to do too much work, but it should be an interesting, fan base there.
I think it'll be fun for fans to come see also. Benny, you mentioned it, just the amount of championships won on our team. Like I think about a guy like Matt Hedges, who is a great pickup for us too, who, literally was playing in MLS still last season as well. I'm pretty sure he won an Open Cup with Dallas. He's won a Supporter Shield. Dax has won 3 Supporter Shield in MLS. Bradley Wright Phillips won 3 as well. The
A lot of winners on the
championships
field.
a lot of winners, a lot of guys that have a lot of, if you add up the amount of all-stars and MLS best 11s within that group as well, literally MVP candidates. Benny was an MVP finalist, I think, in 15. Bradley and I were MVP runners up in 16. Dax was a best 11. I think fans will be excited to see how many quote unquote MLS all-stars are going to be on the field that day. Will be very cool.
Well, so just to flip that around a little bit, one of our good buddies here in town, Leroy Nzaguzzi, he's maybe 26-ish, and he's gonna be in the squad as well. And his experience is ultimately fairly limited. Like he had a little trial run with Nashville, and has played in the PDL several years. But for somebody like that, like what a dream come true to go and play with national team caliber players, and then also like in front of, I'm assuming, a pretty big crowd.
Listen, Leroy was awesome last season. He
Stud.
came in off the bench in both games and was a stud for sure. So my dream also in this whole scenario is that the few guys from the Des Moines Menace that get to play in the game, there's going to be more eyeballs on this game than any other first round Open Cup game just because of the guys that are involved. And who knows? Like I'm going to tell these guys, you never know who's watching, and you never know if your soccer career can continue, if there's a scout, if there's somebody watching, if there's a coach watching this game that brings them on trial after or something, if they want to continue try and play a soccer career, more than just playing with the Des Moines Menace at a higher level possible. So that would be very cool if that happened.
Sacha, how long did it take you last year in the game out in LA to realize, holy cow, I need to mentally turn this on? Or were you right away from the kickoff good to go?
I've pretty much every time I've played in a game, and especially I've played in a lot of cup games over my career where there's I was mostly on the higher first division team, and I played against third, fourth, fifth division teams. And I would always tell my teammates, this game comes only down to mentality. Like if we have a good mentality, we don't underestimate them, we play like the way that we're supposed to play, we will win this game. But if we think this game is going to be easy, that's when we start to falter, and that's when the lower division teams have a chance. So I went into that game thinking this is a professional game. I'm taking it as most serious as I possibly can because I don't want to get hurt also. But I'd say at playing 120 minutes after not playing in a game for like 8 months I was sore for 2 weeks. So
Good penalty though.
A great penalty. Maybe just to kind of put a bow on it, maybe let's just talk about the magic of the Open Cup. You guys were talking about all your successes in the Open Cup, but even a lot of people have played in the Open Cup. I've got a couple Open Cup appearances way back in the day. I know Blake's got a few under his belt as well.
We took like 5 buses of guys from the Menace down to Kansas City when we were playing against, and that was like Jimmy Conrad, Preki. Those boys were back there. So it's been a while, but super cool.
Yeah, I mean, I played a game
awesome.
played a U.S. Cup Open Cup game in the snow. Like, anyway, so to us, I think we have fond memories of it. I don't think we're ever playing this far into the tournament or at that level necessarily, but just talk about the magic of it, because I imagine it's possible you guys played when you were 17, 18, 19 as well, and some opportunities, I would guess.
Yeah,
Maybe.
look, Open Cup it's kind of a lot what Sacha was describing just now, where you have the pro teams, you have the amateur teams, and you have everything in between, right? And this is, Open Cup in America is something special, but you can almost translate that to any country in the world in the cup competitions. And I always thought it was fascinating when I first went to Germany, because Germany has the competition where the lower side plays at home. And so it made it for an incredibly difficult competition for the better teams, right? Because they have to go into this, crowd that is going crazy. It's a small field, pitches aren't perfect. And it's the mental aspect of it, like Sash was touching on. And it just drives chaos, right? There's always a storyline to every single game. And I think Open Cup is that, whether it's a final, whether it's the first round. I think there'll be a storyline to every game that we play in. And so that'll be fascinating to watch.
I mean, if we've been following the cups in Europe, in the German Cup, DFB Pokal, Duisburg, a third division team, is into the semifinals this year, which is amazing.
So cool.
And in the French Cup
The
as
French
well,
league's
there's
been
a
crazy. Yeah, the
third
French league's
division
crazy.
team, Caen, is into the semifinals as well. So why not the menace, you know?
I think that's a real, why not the menace? That's going to be our new tagline. I love it.
What I got one for you was who's the who turned you guys down that may come? Is there anybody you can say, hey, I was really looking forward to playing with you, but you said no for a kind of a lame reason? You want to put anybody out there or not?
Maybe get him for the next game.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if Sacha has somebody, but this is round one, right? We got to make it past round one, and then we got to reevaluate. Hey, where's our roster at? Sash, you able to play another 90? Benny, Dax, BWP. So you got to keep your doors, your bridges not burned, right? To some extent,
Yeah.
because some of these
We-
guys
Listen,
might.
we cast a big net, and I think
Yeah.
once some guys, you know, that are just out of playing, they said, you know, it's too soon for me. I can't mentally go there. Fair enough, totally. Like I respect everybody that says, yeah, we want to play or I don't want to play. Some guys that just couldn't make it that week, but they said, hey, if you guys win, maybe we're in for the next round. And I think when they see how much fun we're having and how exciting the run can be, I think we may be able to add even more guys to
Ben,
the
these
next
boys
round.
have penciled themselves in for the next round. So
I like-
hopefully you guys make the roster for game. If you win game 2,
Yeah.
second round.
I'm
No, I
not,
like-
I'm
I
not
think
on
that-
crutches. I'll be there.
The thing that just kind of rings true to me from this conversation is seems like you guys just love to play the game. You love the game. You love the United States and soccer. So like being a part of the Open Cup just is like a fun opportunity for you guys to give back is what it seems like.
Yeah. And I think we love each other as well. We like playing with one another. I think we've had, I mean, you know, this is just a storyline between me and Sash, but the fact that we have never really got to play together is something that always bummed me out, and I think it bums him out as well. So being able to put all these, you know, friends together, but at the same time, you know, great soccer players together, I think will be a lot of fun to do.
But yeah, even if this drives soccer and the Open Cup and lower division soccer just a little bit in the United States and creates some type of buzz, then I think we've done a good job, and we will be enjoying it regardless, right?
Love that. Benny, quick before we go, let's give a little shout out to these pretty sweet new Menace kits we got here. Alvin York, good friend of the pod, did the design, kind of a little throwback with the logo. And then you were able to get a little shout out here from Simple Lending. I didn't want to get that wrong.
Yeah, Simple
maybe just
Lending's a company in California that one of my best friends works for, and so I was able to hook that up with him, and he sold it to a CEO, and they're all in, man. They get their name on there on their jersey, and they're helping us out throughout this run. So it's a lot of fun. And I will say, I know you have the red and black one up there. I absolutely love the white one. The white one.
we just thought that you could see
are
the
awesome.
Kick It Forward logo better in white, actually. So that's why we
Sure.
did the dark jersey.
Sure, but I really like both jerseys. We'll see which one we wear.
The white one is sick. I agree.
Do you guys get to
They're
keep
awesome.
these jerseys afterwards, or what do we? I remember I got in big trouble one year for trading mine away because we only had one. Like, what have you been told? Anything yet?
I haven't been told anything, but
Sasha, do you have yours from last year?
on the wall? So
I kept mine from last year. I said, find me if you want, I'll pay for it. But this jersey,
those last year, they were kind of cool too. I like those.
Yeah, we had
I was a
some good
big fan
ones.
of those.
Yeah,
big
those
fan.
were good. So yeah, I basically told Charlie, I'm keeping this, dude. If you need me to send you some cash for this, I will. But the jersey's awesome. But I had lots of friends. I got lots of friends that, because the game was in Southern California last year, I probably had 30 people that came to watch the game. Some guys that I play basketball with that have never been to a soccer game in their life.
That's awesome.
And they were all like, where can we get merch, dude? We need like Des Moines Menace merch. So
It sounds like
put
we're
some
on it
stuff
this
out.
year. So hopefully all your pals will be able to get themselves a Feilhaber or Kljestan jersey or, you know, whatever, a BWP jersey. So awesome. Well, maybe we just kind of leave it at this other than thank you. Why not the Menace, right?
Let's go. Let's go. Can't wait for March 19th.
We'll hope to talk to you guys after game 1 and in the lead up to game 2.
I hope so.
thanks for having us, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.